Welcome back, everybody. We've got a super hot summer day here. It is like probably mid 90s already. Humidity's at least 100. It's ridiculous. But we've got some maintenance to do today. I was doing oil changes on our daily driver vehicles, and mine, I've got a little bit of a problem. So we're going to fix it today, and we're going to do a little bit of updating on things. I haven't been able to do a lot of stuff lately, but we're going to give updates and show you where we're at on stuff. So let's get after it. Here's our first update. Check this bad boy out. Finally got my bathroom mostly complete as far as framing and outside stuff. I still have a little bit of plumbing to do on the inside. Got a sink we're going to order, like a stainless steel basin sink, so I can do whatever I need to do, but that's nice. But the main reason was to get a lot of this stuff out of the way. We own many books. All of these totes, like right here, are full of books, cookbooks, all types of stuff. But that cleaned out a huge section of my shop. And I know it's still a mess, but it's going to take me some time to get things organized and things back the way they need to be. So, work in progress. Update number 2 is the little Mustang. I've gotten a little bit done on it, nothing major, but I am getting some major leeway with the cranking issue. I think it's leaning towards a fuel issue. I really haven't got to deal with it as much as I would like, just because life gets in the way of this stuff sometimes. So, but it's movable now. I've been able to kind of move it from place to place. You can see where it was setting up until the other day. So I've got it moved over here. I'll move it again so I can mow all of this stuff. So that's update number 2. We'll carry on. Update number 3. Check this out. We're getting some headway on getting the engine taken out of the Navigator. My next step is I'm going to have to jack it up so I can take things out from underneath it. But what I did to make it easier, this vehicle was totaled. So I came right here, right in front of the shocks for the hood, and I cut the front end off of it. Then I came down and I sawed the frame rails off right in front of the front cross member, just to make it easier to get to. So that's coming along. So it won't be much longer before I get the engine out. I was thinking there, I probably need to stick that back in there so critters won't get in it. But anyway, now they can't. So that's an update on the Mustang's upcoming engine. I'm gaining some scrap metal pretty quick. Parts are flying. Okay, whoops, almost fell. Done on the updates. Just wanted to update on the status of everything and how stuff's going. So, my little 2001 Buick. I was driving to work the other day, and I mean, in Alabama, the temperatures have been like high 90s the last week or so. It was just ridiculously hot. So I'm headed to work, and I'm like, why is it so hot? And my back window was down. And I didn't roll it down, but it was down. So let me show you what I had to do. I stopped on the side of the road, and luckily I had some stuff in the car. So let me show you what I had to do. So I had a hatchet handle, not a handle, but a hatchet head. Check this out. I took paper and wadded it up and stuck this old hatchet head in there. Luckily I had it in my floorboard, but it and this paper wadded up It's what kept my window from going down. See that? You can I can kind of hear the cable in the window regulator. Sounds like it's broke, but nonetheless the window regulator isn't working, so we have one. Came in the other day. So let's get started on that window regulator. We are in here with my little door panel. This thing is a pretty simple one to take off. So what I've got to do, there is a little cover. Let me actually get in here and show you. There is a little cover right here. Let me show you. I take it. That sucker just pops off. We got two 10mm bolts inside there. We've got, this is actually a cover on the door handle. So what we're gonna do, it just pops off right like that. Check that out. Then all we have to do, if my camera will set up, all we have to do is take these two bolts out. So let's take those. See, those are just two little 10mm. They're more a screw than a bolt. And then honestly, this thing is ready to come off. Now we'll have a electrical connector here at the window, or for the switch. But see, this thing just, there's just like push tabs holding it on. And that's all there is. Ew. Gross. Let's see. Got that. We'll set this baby out of the way. Well, I was going to show you how the connector on the window switch was, but we'll get in here a little closer. So with this window switch connector, it's just got this little locking tab. And when it's on the switch, it's connected. You just push that little tab down. Probably have to use a screwdriver, and that sucker just slides out. Now, make sure I can see and everybody else can see. So the next thing we're going to do is pull this. It's like a weather guard, like a rain guard, and this has the factory, I don't know what you'd call it. It's not really a glue, but man, this stuff, it's almost like a rubber sealer of some type. This has definitely been off before, but it's all right. I really like this factory stuff because it seals really well. And technically you don't have to take this completely off, but we'll see what we have to do. Man, I'm already sweating like really bad. So we can already get in here to the window regulator. There it is. There's the window. Oh, this stuff. So here's the window. Here's the regulator. This silver thing. And then that's what raises your window up and down via this motor. Now I just saw something right there. See that? That's the cable off a part of the regulator, probably the part that raises this up and down, which we'll get more into that once we get the regulator out. We can actually see what happened to it or what went wrong with it. So let me get some tape and I'll show you what I do next. Get down there. So what I like to do if this window is all the way at the top of its travel, we can't really get to our bolts that actually hold the regulator onto our window. So what I like to do is get the regulator down here where it's workable, and then you can do it a lot of different ways, but what I like to do is run me just a couple of pieces of masking tape right like that. Sorry if that's loud on camera. And that will hold our window up when we take the regulator off. Now, get rid of that. Now, what we're going to do is take these two bolts out. And luckily, this regulator bolts onto the window. I was really afraid it was going to have big pop rivets, and I was going to have to find a big rivet gun, probably at Harbor Freight. I think they have them. But I was really afraid I was going to have to do that. But luckily, we didn't. It bolted in, and everything seems to be like it's going to go fairly smooth. So now, what I like to do is untape both sides or half of your window. Either way, you can take your tape and just kind of get it out of the way. Easy, baby. Now, see the window already come off of the regulator. I don't know if you can see that, but these little, that's where our bolts go through the regulator. See, right here's our regulator bracket, and our bolts go through there, through the window, and that's what raises it up and down. So now I'm going to take the window to the very top of the travel and then tape it back down like I had it. So let me move those again. We go all the way up, tape on the front side and the back side, and our window will stay there. Now that's how I've always done it. So let's take our little tool, take our lower screws out. I'm gonna keep those separate. And there's our uppers. Whew. Blue Loctite. Check this out. Let me get these screws out first. Check this out. So my brother calls me the other day and he's like, hey, I found something you may want. I was like, okay, cool, what is it? And he runs by and he's got this Metabo 1/4 inch impact driver. I'm like, oh, that's pretty cool. He said, you just take it, you can have it. And I was like, well, I don't really need it. I've got a Milwaukee and a Craftsman and a Makita impact driver. And he's like, I found this on the side of the road. And I was like, oh, that's pretty cool. So he found it, put a post up on Facebook. He's like, if anybody dropped a drill in our area where we live, he said, just holler at me. Man, nobody even messaged him. So he was like, I don't need it, so just take it. And I was like, that's what I'm talking about. So that was a pretty good score. So what we got to do now is the regulator is attached to this motor, your actual window motor. So I've got to take, all you've got to do for it is just loosen these 3 bolts for it. And it actually has slotted holes where it will come out. And see it, oh, I've got a, here I can show you how to take a plug out. This is your window motor plug. This is what I was talking about. It's just like the window switch. Just take your little screwdriver, and all you gotta do is mash this ear down that locks it in and pull it, and it'll come right out. So now everything is free. I'm gonna take the motor, I'm gonna lay the regulator down like this and slide it out. And there is our broken window regulator as a whole. You can see this spring and cable is not inside that motor like it should be. And what has happened, let me see if I can see. Okay, so it doesn't appear anything serious has happened. See what this cable does, it wraps around this little plastic piece. For some reason that cable is out of it. Well, it's because I've been trying to move it up and down, and then this cable goes behind this, and there is a little notch that cable, that little ball, hooks into. Well, I don't think I will ever be able to show it on camera, but there is I definitely can't. Wait a minute. Give me 1 second and I might be able to show you what happened. If I can get this off. Even if I break it, it don't matter, because the regulator's bad. Haha. Oh. Keep that close where I can throw it away. There we go. Alright, so this is the part that mounts to our window. It bolts on our window. The motor moves it up and down with the regulator. So this little, get over here. This little ball on the cable runs up in that track and it hangs in that groove, just like that. And what has happened, this is what I wanted to show you. What has happened is the top of this has broke completely off. You can see a big chunk of it missing, or I hope you can see it. A big chunk of this is missing. So what happens when you let your window either up or down, that cable, it has no stop. So what's eventually happened is that cable has worked itself loose and come out. See, it shouldn't be able to come out right there. But that's what's happened. That's why our regulator's bad. And it might be able to have been fixed, but a regulator was like 30 bucks. So let me unbox it and we'll make sure it's right and we'll get it put back together. I'm back here with our new regulator, and apparently I ordered it with a new motor. Here we go, with a new motor. So that's good. I didn't know if I did or not. I couldn't remember. But you can see, let me grab this old one, the difference in how the springs look here at the motor. Our old one, the springs are all, well, the springs are all just like loose and just coming out everywhere. Our new ones are nice and tight. Here's that part I showed you where the window bolts on, moves up and down. Maybe you can see that on camera. See, there's cables in there. This is the part that was broke on top. Right here. So what happens, there's a cable that comes in, sets here, a cable that comes in and sets on the bottom side. See? And what happened, that top side broke out, so the cable couldn't stay in it. So the only thing I see that we have to interchange, sorry if my big head's in the way, are these 3 motor bolts. So I'm just going to buzz them out. These are the bolts that hold our motor in. Yeet. And we're done with that. I'm just going to take them and start them in the new window motor bracket. And these, remember, these do not have to be taken all the way out to get the motor in. So I'm just going to run them down a ways. And all you do now is reverse everything. I'm going to go in with the top first, down with the bottom of the regulator. I'm going to set the window motor and just let it hang on them bolts. First thing I'm going to do is make sure the window motor plug or connector is the same as my factory. And it looks to be, and it is. It's just a little bit different style. The old one, the connector's made onto the motor, and this one, it just has a little harness coming off of it. So what I'll do, I will zip tie this down. That way the window doesn't catch it and rip wiring off of it. It shouldn't, but you never know. So next up, we're going to take all of our window regulator bolts, if I can hold my mouth right. And we're gonna start these. This seems to be a really good fit window motor. I bought it off of Rock Auto, and to me, I'm not saying I've never done it, but usually I don't go to Rock Auto and order the cheapest thing. Usually I'll do standard replacement off of Rock Auto. That way, it may not be like a heavy duty version, but at least, or what do they call it, like OE replacement? It's something like that, or standard replacement. But that's what I always get. I don't ever just go in there and be like, oh man, I can get a window regulator for $5. That's the one I'm getting. I don't do that, because usually you'll be replacing it again pretty quick. Gonna run those in. We'll run my window bolts in, window motor bolts. Now, for the fun part, and sometimes you have to do this a couple of different ways. The window regulator is down here below where I can access it with my impact driver. So sometimes you have to raise it and lower it depending on, you know, where you need it to be to access the bolt. So what I'm going to do, if I can, is I'm going to pop, my door panel's broke, my goodness. I'm going to pop this window switch out. Haha, window switch. I'm going to plug it up. I'm going to go turn the ignition on, which I'll do all this on camera, but I'm going to turn my ignition on and manually raise this where it needs to be to where I can hook the window up. Okay, I've got the key on, so let's see. Window, I'm going to mash up and watch right here. See that? There comes our regulator. So that tells me it's going to work already, but I want to get it to where I'm in working distance. And I'm just going to leave my ignition on. It ain't going to be but just a minute till I need it again anyways. So we're going to take our tape off of our window, throw it into garbage. We're going to ease our window down. And it actually has like alignment tabs. Let me see if I can get you in here. There's two little gray alignment tabs, and they just set over, you can see them, they just set over that window regulator, just so you know you're kind of in the right spot. And then our regulator bolts just start in like so. You want to be real careful. I've done this for a long time, so I'm not afraid of using this on a window. Now, you don't want to take this and just hammer on those bolts right there, because I can tell you from experience, you can shatter that window. It can happen. Just believe me. So if you're unsure, use hand tools. Okay, with all that being said and done and out of the way, pretty quick job. So here we go. Check that out. We have full window travel, which is what we need. I'm going to go ahead and unbolt. Oh my goodness. I'm going to undo our window switch connector. It's just like that window motor. Just kind of push down on that little ear, that tab, and pull up at the same time. My hands ain't working. Not good anyways. There we go. All right, window switch out. I am going to go ahead. Let me run and get a zip tie, and we'll zip tie this wiring back, and I'll see y'all back putting the door panel back on, and we'll wrap this little project up. Zip tie. That's what my key is still on. What I want to do, I should have done this earlier. I'm going to let my window all the way down just so I can see where I need to zip tie this wire, because that gives me an idea of where the actual travel is. Right there is the only thing that'll give me interference with it, this part of the regulator. So what I'm going to do is push this connector way down here and just zip tie it like so. So see, all I've got to do now is just run a little zip tie. I'm actually going to run it around both of those wires. And it don't have to be tight, just something to hold that wiring out of the way. That's all there is to that. Now we can go back with our weather guard. We'll have a little hole that our window switch goes to. And you can kind of see with this stuff, like right here, there's holes where those screws go through for the door panel. There's a hole for the door handle. And then just mash. This is why I like this factory stuff. Oh my gosh. This is why I like this factory type rubberized stuff, because I don't think it ever loses its sticky or tacky. It seems like it's good forever. All right, we are ready for the door panel I just threw on the ground. And see, this thing, it's just held on with push tabs all around it. So all you got to do is line it up. Just be sure it's kind of where it needs to be. And I can see our weather shield is kind of too far this way. So I'm going to take it and just kind of pull it, because I can kind of see where my door panel goes. There's like a dirty line. You want to make sure your connectors are pulled through your door panel, because you can cover these connectors up and then be taking the door panel back off to get them out. So all right, I look in here and see my holes are lined up for the screws that go in through the door handle. You just give it a little tippity tap. There you have it. We'll take our two. Oh, let me stand up. Let me get you over here. I'll get you over here where you can see me run these two screws down. Come on over here. And see, we got our two screws in there. Just a couple of clickety clacks on them. That one's kindly stripped out. Easy peasy. We'll take our door handle cover. We're going to stick it on. Pull your door handle out, slide it in there like so, and it's held on with just some clips too. Last, well, not last, we'll go next to last. We got our little cover for our screws. It just snaps into place. And then last but not least, our window switch. All we're gonna do is plug that bad boy up. It's got a little catch right here on the back. You slide it in first towards the back, and then a clip keeps it there. And we've got full travel on our window still. Everything works. And that is a complete job. So we got our cover back on our screws. Need a little wipe down. But see, I got this weather shield back inside of the door panel where it needs to be. So how about that? No more hatchet head in the way. And I kind of messed my tin up. Let's see if I can get to where you can see it. You can see some scratches right here from where that hatchet head was on it, and it was working its way up and down. But anyway, another project completed. Well, we've come to an end of another video. I know this one was short and sweet, but it was a little project. I know a lot of vehicles have this issue. The window regulator's going out, the window will fall. I see them all the time. You go through a parking lot and you'll see like a little wooden wedge or some kind of wedge, or like I had paper rolled up to keep your window from falling down. So I just wanted to do this to show it's kind of an easier thing to replace on a vehicle. I hope you're enjoying this content. I try to do a little teaching along with a little hot rodding, a little working on houses, bathrooms, that type of stuff. I do have some progress on the bathroom. Hopefully I'm going to update on that in a couple of weeks. I've got to take a few more weeks off. I've got to have a little surgery done, so it'll be a couple of weeks before I'm able to do anything else. And so I really hope you're enjoying this type of stuff. I wanted to throw out a little video this week and just kind of give you an update on the Mustang and some other stuff, the engine for the Mustang, and I'll update on the bathroom just as soon as I can. If y'all would, give me a like. It's not that hard. Hit that thumbs up button. If you really like the content, give me a subscribe, and I really appreciate it. I appreciate all the engagement that's going on so far. I've had some good conversations with some people about cars and that type of stuff. So like I said, hit that like button, give me a subscribe. That would really help my channel out. We will see y'all in the next one.